What's up, everybody?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of
The Coffee Breakup.
Yes. So today we got a very, very special episode.
Very special.
Before we begin,
yeah,
make sure you like this video down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and ring that notification bell to stay up to date with all the content that we're posting. If you're on the go, we're on Spotify and iTunes. Yeah.
We got a website?
We have a website.
thecoffeebreakup.com. And we got some merch if you want to check
You
it
can
out.
buy this sweet looking mug.
Right. And
we also have
shirts.
a shirt, two shirts. We have two shirts. Or three if you count the girl shirts.
That's true. Same logo, but whatever.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Also, follow us on social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah, going there.
I think we're good.
That's it.
So
let's get started.
To begin the show, we have a very special episode. Would you like to make the
Absolutely.
introductions?
We got the two lovely ladies, Stephanie, Melissa from Millennial Women.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's up, guys? How are you today?
Hi, guys. Excited to be here.
So happy to see you too.
Yeah. So we were actually, you guys invited us on your show, I guess we can call it, right?
Yeah.
Recently.
It was like the first time that you guys actually got back into recording again. A podcast, we can call it. Is
Yeah,
it
it's a
show?
podcast.
Okay. So yeah, you guys had invited us the first time after the pandemic where you guys had live people in there, and also two men.
Yeah.
Dashing young men, I would say.
Yes.
Super
lovely.
dashing.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
so we had a blast.
That was great.
I hope you guys
Okay.
had a good time as well.
We
We
did.
really did.
We learned a lot.
Thanks. Hopefully it'll happen again today.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea.
That's the idea. Absolutely. So I mean, usually how we start the show is when we have guests on. We like to let the audience kind of learn a little bit about yourselves, who you guys are, where you're from, a little gist of that.
Yeah, backgrounds individually will go, and then pretty much how then you guys came to creating what you guys are creating, and then go from there.
Go ahead, Mel. You're older.
Oh,
Damn.
not by much, guys. Only 3 years.
Only 3 years. But you know what? I had to get that out of the way because people always think I'm the one that's older. It's the
Really?
short hair. Maybe I carry
Yeah.
myself more mature. I don't know.
You guys are sisters, right?
We are,
Yeah,
yes.
we're sisters.
We're
Really?
sisters,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm the oldest of three. It's her and her little brother, Christian.
Yeah.
Christian, another Christian.
Another Christian. Yeah.
Lovely.
All right, so someone's got to go first.
Yeah.
Who's going?
Go
Okay.
for it, Mel.
I'll go first. So my name is Melissa Kirkache. I'm Stephanie's older sister, as we've already stated.
By 3 years.
By 3
3
years. I'm an actress, formerly on Nickelodeon and Hallmark Channel, and a producer. I created my own TV series for Facebook called Hialeah Series, and I'm a podcaster as of 2018 with our show Millennial Women Talk. And the purpose of our show is to create inspirational yet resourceful content for the women of our generation. And it's catered for women looking to elevate their lives, mind, body, and soul. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes,
Beautiful.
sissy.
Go ahead,
Love that.
Steph.
And my name is Stephanie Karkaje. I am the little sister. I am a singer-songwriter and also a podcaster and a podcast coach. So
Oh, yeah, I
we're-
forgot about that. We are podcast
Yeah.
coaches.
Yeah.
You had your chance. You had your
I know.
Yeah, so
You
cut it.
had your
Yeah.
chance, girl. We are the co-creators of the Build and Launch Your Podcast in 5 Weeks course. And it's really awesome. We're just guiding people. The same mission and vision as Millennial Women Talk was always to create a platform for, women and now people, because in season 3, we brought you guys.
Yes.
So it's really the same mission and vision, to create a platform for people to utilize their voice. That's what we're super passionate about people just coming together and expressing themselves and sharing their thoughts and their perspectives. And that's what we do with the podcast and also with our course.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. So it's like a 5-week crash course on how to
Oh, yeah.
How to launch your podcast.
Yeah.
Everything. It's from start to launch. And, we cover the technical side of things, but also the producing side of things and the branding, so it's
everything.
I mean, you guys know this, like podcasting is like, it's so many different parts of the brain. It's like you have the creative part,
Yeah.
No, 100%.
the tech part, and then you have the branding and the monetizing and
the
all of
marketing
that.
side.
The marketing.
Right. And so, we took our time with building that course for a while. And, it took us a while. Like we've been doing this for 4 years. And then we came to a place of like, now we were already giving advice and stuff to people that were DMing us. And we're really passionate about, sharing the things that have worked for us. So we were like, let's do a course. And what makes our course really special is that the hardest thing about anything in life, whether you want to start a podcast, whether you want to start whatever business, it's like the dream always comes very easily, but it's knowing the tasks that you have to do every single day to get there. So our course just pretty much sums up the whole dream of being a podcaster into daily tasks that you get to accomplish week by week that will get you to your launch day and beyond.
I like that. It's almost
Yeah.
like those little small accomplishments. It's also rewarding for the person to say, oh, okay, what's next? Oh, I did this. Now what's the next thing?
Absolutely.
I think when Chris and I launched this, the coffee breakup, the great thing is we had each other. And I'm a firm believer that you can't do it all alone, right? And sometimes you like to believe so, but ultimately, that's kind of what we work together very well. We clash heads and stuff like that, like every partnership does, right?
Oh, yeah.
But ultimately, I think the part of our success is that we work well together and that we have very, very similar goals. The same goal, really, is just to help people and different execution. But ultimately, we come together and we create this, right? And so it's been a crazy journey, but I'm super excited to do this and help other people. That's a great inspiration when you can help somebody else and they're like, hey man, thank you so much for what you're doing. And I'm sure you guys have been there as well multiple times. So it's exciting.
When you guys have people that go either sign up for the course or like want to learn about podcasting, because a lot of people, they ask me about like, oh, well, I want to start a podcast, but I don't know what to talk about. And then you don't want to start a podcast. Yeah. Me, we found this niche, at least to begin. I mean, I know a lot about random stuff. I like sports. I go to the gym. Fitness, whatever. But where did you guys do you think it's easier to start with a niche or to just start your podcast? Or have you had people who have come up to you and ask you like, oh, well, I want to do a podcast, and then?
Oh, absolutely. That's always the number one. Like, but what if I run out of things to say? And then I'm always like, but you've been talking your entire life pretty much and you talk every day, right? So you never run out of things to say. I think it's to answer your question, it's niche. Find your niche, because when you have like what I like to call pillars or topics, right, that you guys cover that could be broad enough, that you can then dissect that. So like relationships is broad. It's niche, but then there's so many categories that can go under relationships. And that's where you want to find. So you want to find your niche and then broaden those topics so that you're able to continue creating a lot of episodes, Yeah,
I think, down the line, ultimately, I think we want to, I've always said it. I do want to expand outside of relationships. And I think once the brand podcast, whatever this is that we're creating, it gets to that level, then we can kind of start outsourcing it to say, hey, well, you know what? There's people who want to know about sports. There's people that want to know about traveling. There's people who want to know about entertainment and dining, So I think eventually down the line, we do want to expand because there's just a lot to talk about in the world. But, I think capturing the niche and then growing it and then building a brand on that, you're now like separating yourself like, oh, these are the guys.
Absolutely.
So I think that we'll get there.
And you guys are in relationships. And I have to say, and I told you guys this when we got together for our podcast. No matter what meeting we are in, whether it be any meeting just with friends or like a business meeting with other women, no matter how successful they are, we always end up talking about guys.
Always.
Relationships are always such a demand, right, Mel?
They are such a demand. And sometimes I'm like, can we talk about business or can we talk about something else?
Yeah, like you're a billionaire. Like, let's talk about how you did that. No, we want to talk about the relationships, the men in our lives.
There's just so much.
I think to the foundation of it is just because like the root, humans love connections and we love other people. And there's even studies of when you put people in isolation that they deteriorate. People cannot exist without human interaction. Exactly. So by nature, we're social creatures, right? If you want to strip us down to the basic. And so we love the people that we surround ourselves with. It's so important. That's kind of why we started.
And relationships, it's not just intimate. It can be, platonic, professional. There's a lot of different forms of relationships that somehow, some way, you'll always find yourself talking about, whether it be, of interest, opposite sex, professional. Maybe I hate Marvin one day and I will vent to her. I'm like, hey, Marvin pissed me off. Oh, now I'm talking about that relationship that I have with him. So I think somehow, some way, everything ties into having that social interaction, that human interaction with somebody.
Absolutely.
Because you can break up over coffee of a business relationship or a friendship, and that's interesting because that's never been, I don't think, have you guys covered that on your show?
What?
Breaking up like friendships?
Like a different type of relationship, or has it always been romantic?
This is why we brought you guys on.
I'm going to write this down.
Coach you to success.
Let me write this down. Speaking of relationships, where do you guys...
that was good. I like the transition. I was like, on the topic of relationships.
Talking about relationships, where do you guys stand currently?
You want to go
goes
first?
It's whoever, it's somebody.
I think at this point we need to flip a coin to see who's going to be
I
answering
think so,
questions
yeah.
first. I'll get started. I've been with my now fiance for 16 years.
Let me see that ring. Oh,
Beautiful.
I'm fucking blinded.
And you know what's so
That thing is
crazy is
stunning.
that he bought that when you were 21.
21, which we
And-
talked about on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah. That thing's
Yeah.
a beauty.
And
Thank you.
Mel, you didn't want to wear it. You were like, "Don't. If you propose to me, I'm going to say no." Remember?
Well, yeah, because at the time, I said I was going to say no, but
you were
because
young. You were a baby.
we were
What does
21.
this guy do? For,
Yeah. What does he do?
Let me call the
He
guy.
does a lot of different things. He's a businessman.
He's a businessman.
Sells drugs.
Yeah. Miami.
Sells drugs.
Okay.
No,
If you say that in Miami,
Yeah.
why?
That's right.
Scammer.
Why do
Like,
people always say that?
scammer.
no.
He does business, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Give me your Cash App info and I'll send you $2,000. No questions asked. Okay.
I love that. No. So yeah, we were 21. He bought me this ring, and I didn't say no. What I said was just like, and we talked about it on the show. Like, I want to get married, but not right now because I've been an actress. I was 14. I hadn't really made it, whatever that was in my brain. I was still living in California. He was still here. And we were doing long distance. We did long distance twice, 3 years apiece. And so like, I was like, I want to be married, but I want to live in the same place. And he tried to move to LA for a little bit, but we were like, okay, if we move here, this is going to suck. Cause like our parents and everybody's in Miami. Like if we have kids, this is not where we want to have a family. So we kind of committed to taking the time that we needed so that I can do what I have to do and then come back. And that's what I did.
So you weren't ready, but ultimately the goal was for you two to get together and get married. It was there on the table.
Yeah, like I knew I wanted to marry him. We wanted to get married. We always known we wanted to get married since we were 17. That's how long we've been together, since high school.
So you guys met in high school.
We did. And he
High
was
school
the new
sweethearts.
kid.
Jesus.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 33, and so is he. We're both the same age.
Okay.
Yeah, 33,
Same age.
33.
Okay.
Yeah, but so you guys are engaged, right?
Yes.
How did you know at such a young age? Did you know? Were you just kind of going with it? Did you say,
we knew. The crazy thing is that we've been through so much together, and we always wanted to be together.
What is so much? Like
struggle financially, apart. Like long distance can break up any I mean, that's like the number one reason why people break up in long distance is because you're not together.
Well, yeah.
You're
How was-
apart.
Yeah, long distance sounds like it's so
It's
different.
very
Would you
hard.
guys
It
see
is
each
hard.
other? Like,
Yeah. Well, he would go mostly over there
how often?
every few months.
Jeez.
Like it wasn't even like that often.
No, and
That's
there was
rough.
periods where it was like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody. I think I feel
No.
like most people
No, it's
would
tough.
not be able
Well,
to.
yeah. What did
overcome
you?
that.
What did you see? Like what told you to hold on? What made you feel like this is worth the distance? Because as you were saying, not many people would
They don't.
survive. So what did you think was enough to say?
The truth is that we have the same values and the same foundation.
Which one is that?
No way. Speaking of the fiance.
Oh
guys.
no!
Okay, it's okay. It's him. Yeah,
Let's
it's
put it
him.
down.
It's him.
I guess his ears must be ringing.
Yeah.
We have the same core values, same foundation, same goals of life, same way of wanting to raise a family, just the same ideas, right? And so like we're both crazy dreamers. We both wanted success. We both so when it came to individually as people, the goals we want out of life from a professional standpoint and a personal were the same. So I can't even explain it to you. It's like there was never a moment in the relationship where I was like, ooh, we're not aligning here. It's like we always aligned. I think the struggles was always that we were away and we wanted to be together.
Okay.
That was the hardest part. You know what I mean?
I guess distance you can overcome when you have all these other values and qualities that
Right.
you share. Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing that's separating us is distance, right? But
Exactly.
other than that, we're aligned. So you feel like that's something that's a prerequisite if you want to make a long distance relationship
And another
work.
thing too was like, so when we went through a period where I was trying to figure out my career and so was he, it was like financially none of us, I mean, we were really bad. And he wanted to leave me because he didn't feel like he could provide at the time. But I was like, if the issue is money, that's something that can be fixed and you're actually working towards it. It's not like you're being a bum playing like Xbox and not doing anything with your life.
Not a bum with that ring.
Well,
You
not
had the money
anymore.
for that.
Yeah, we got. What was he doing at that age?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
So he was in construction at that age.
Oh, that's where the money's at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, it's interesting because a lot of people give up because of that. Oh, I just want to marry a guy that has money. You know,
I
but
mean,
it's like
Don't, please continue.
Yeah.
No, it has to be, the core values have to be there for both people to want to make this work. And like I mentioned in our show, both people want to have to make it work. You both want to have to fight for this relationship. It can't be one person or the other. Right?
So, I mean, okay. So what do you say? Because we had a previous guest on, Natalie, remember?
Yeah.
And her ex, I guess they were living separately. They were together for like 9 years, I think.
9 years.
And they wouldn't move together. So what do you think it could be? Because his excuse was, well, I don't feel financially secure within the relationship with ourselves enough to make that leap yet. I think a lot of men, they're now thinking, well, if I know I can't handle a family by myself financially, I don't want to put myself, into a relationship or take that next step to go into that direction if I don't feel, secure enough.
But you have to have a goal. Like you have to be working towards something. Like let's say like today you're not here, but tomorrow you will be because you're working towards something.
And you know what's so crazy about that is that I think that people always want to be, before they commit to a relationship, they want to be perfect.
Yes.
And that's not life.
That's what it is.
Life is not like that.
Yeah.
So even if tomorrow, next year, you are a multimillionaire, you made your goals or whatever that goal may be, 15 years from now, something can happen. And what are you going to do? You're going to leave your person.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Like it's the idea that we have that, especially now that we are so about personal self-development, right? It's like we all want to be, and I get it. We should all be working on being healed, all that stuff. But this sense of perfectness is so unrealistic because you don't know what's going to happen in 20, 30 years. And as a couple, like you're going to have to deal with that person having to lose, their mother, right? Yeah. Like down the line, life throws us curveballs. And what you want is somebody, even more so when you are not perfect, to see if that's the right partner for you. It's not, let me break this off and me work on myself and be perfect on my own. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think when you have somebody, when you meet somebody, and maybe this is the case with you, when you're like, okay, this is somebody I want to do life with. This is somebody I want to, I want to struggle with. I want to move my way up. I want to get married, have kids. I want to, grind. If this is somebody that you have and you see this vision, you feel that way with that person. Yeah, that's all that matters, because you'll never be truly ready. I feel like you could be ready here, you can finish school and stuff like that. I put yourself in a position where you,
like, instead of accomplishing, you being accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. You'll never truly be there, right? You always be something else. I gotta have so much money. I gotta have this house. I gotta have this career. When are you gonna say, listen, I'm gonna live in the moment. I'm gonna appreciate this person that I'm with. Yeah, I'm gonna take that next step, even though it's
growing together.
I'm grateful for that. Like for me, I'm just like, I don't see any challenge that's gonna destroy this because we've been through a lot of them. So like, what's really gonna throw us off? You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
And you have to have a solid foundation. You have to work on it.
Right.
It's not something that every day is gonna be, honeymoon.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But
I just feel like a lot of people these days, like, they're just not willing to, like,
they give up too easily because they're in love with an illusion. That's the problem. You're in love with an illusion of what your life
relationship is supposed to be about.
Exactly.
And I'm single now, and I'm kind of like in the dating realm, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. Like, because everybody, it's all about this perfection and I get it, the standards and all that's great. You should definitely have that. But to expect perfection, and then once they don't take off one box, that's it. And then I'm very fortunate to have the examples of my sister, of my parents, of real long-lasting relationships. And I know how imperfect those individuals have been throughout that journey. But why they're still together is because they grew through that. And it's like, I also think to myself, our friendships, like, why do our friendships last so much longer than romantic relationships, right? And so, as women, let's just say it's like we want our man that we're dating to be XYZ, all this. And it's like, but do we do that to our friends? Like, my friend has to be A, B, C, D. No. Our friends is like you this vibe. Organic, natural thing. Oh, she's pissed at me, whatever. It's like, it's not so critical. Yeah. And so we go into these relationships in 2021, like with our checklist and our standards. And and I say that loosely because I do believe in having standards.
Of
you have to
course.
know what
You
you
gotta have
want,
certain values.
and you have to know your worth and what you bring to the table, right? But we're just so quick to say next.
Especially when you have, there's a lot of people, oh, she has to look this way. Oh, he has to have X amount of money. He has to be
Right.
established. He has to be successful. Well, you weren't that. You guys weren't even ready. But you said, hey, listen, I'm going to stick with this person. I'm going to work. And now, it's, sounds like you guys are in a great position.
Yeah.
But you weren't there at the beginning. But you
No.
still stuck with each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would have been like, oh,
Right.
this is not the person for me.
You
Or
have
that your
to-
family tells you
Oh,
too.
yeah, 100%. Or your friends, hey,
Yeah.
he has to have X amount of money.
Oh no, I know
they need to look this way.
though, whatever.
Yeah.
And next, I mean, how quick? And it's like, it's just so unrealistic. And this is why people are single. But then when you look at people that, for example, my sister,
It's kind of an extreme though. No, I mean not in a bad way,
Yeah.
because not everyone can say that they met their soulmate
Right.
at
17,
your
Right.
age, you know,
Right.
had a ring already,
Yeah.
or purchased already.
Right.
Purchase.
So it's it's not the same, but I do get what you're saying.
Before he
Yeah.
proposed, I will tell you this: we moved in together before, and when he wasn't home, I would wear the ring around the house
That's kind of cute
because I knew where he hid it.
Oh no way!
And then I'll be like,
and
"Oh, are you coming home?" Yeah. Oh, I was like, "Oh crap, I gotta put the ring back."
oh
in
my
the box."
gosh, she would send me
No.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
pictures.
"Doesn't it look nice?"
I was like, you're so weird.
So
Did
when
you
you
take pictures and send it to like all your friends and stuff? Did they know?
Mostly
Yeah.
to her. Everything was to her. She's my best friend. I have friends, but it's me and Steph.
like one other person.
It's like, it's all Steph.
So when he proposed to you, right? Well, how did that? Like, did you act surprised? Like, oh shit! Oh my god!
No, I mean, listen, it's still so, it's not that it's a surprise. It's just special because now it's like, okay, now we are making this, we are such commitment people. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what I adore about him is that he's a man of his word. So whatever he says, I know he means. So I knew that this commitment was serious because we talk about it all the time. We're like, we always had an exit door and we never took it. Why would we ever take that in a marriage? You know what I mean? We were
Yeah.
dating, we could have separated and it's not a big deal. So we take everything that we do super, super, super serious. When we moved in together, like everything. And I like that about him. He's super old school. I think I mentioned it to you guys that before we even started dating, he asked my parents for permission to ask me to be his girlfriend. And I loved it. I was like, that's amazing. You know, like I like that because it's that those morals, those foundations, those values, the respect that he had from the beginning. And those are the things that matter to me, you know?
But, I mean, have you ever encountered like arguments or any kind of disagreements with your fiance that you think anyone else would have said, "Hey, I'm out"?
Yeah, of course.
Because
Of
again,
course.
you're the extreme.
Yeah.
Not
We're
everybody
not
would have.
perfect
Agreed.
at all. Like we went through a lot of stuff, like to overcome. And for me, it's just like it's falling back to those morals and those foundations. You need. It's like when we talk about podcasting, right? It's like you can't just turn on the mic and press record and start talking. You have to have a why and a what and who you're speaking to and a structure, right? Yeah. The same applies to any relationship in your life. You have to have some sort of foundation to lean back on when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Because it is, and it's going to happen more than one time. It's not going to happen once and, oh my gosh, everything's roses. Like, no. And things change, you know?
I think coexisting with another human being is incredibly difficult. You know, we all, you have that honeymoon stage, first 6 months or even 2 years, and then things are hard. Living with another person, coexisting with that person, making it work is not easy, right? But as long as there's effort and there's the dedication and the will from both parties, right? Both people.
And
have to
I
do the
think
work.
also seeing the bigger picture at the end of the day, like seeing what we actually have, not to let it all go to waste over
Yeah.
And I
whatever.
think you both have to want that.
Yeah,
it has to come
absolutely.
from both.
Yeah, you
One
have to
person can't make
really
it work.
want
Yeah.
that family or that relationship, that idea of walking life together with someone, I think has to be a mutual desire. If one person has it and the other one's like, well, I could live with or without it,
Right.
it's going to be hard.
That's
but
it.
if it's in your case, you both really wanted that because you both grew up seeing that as well.
Right.
And
His
you
parents
were
are still
really
together.
aligned. Yeah.
And so are mine. And we saw, it's
You
the
really
same.
wanted it.
Right.
And
We
when you
do.
really want something, you
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
working towards
Yeah.
that.
And if you find someone with the same vision as you said, I mean, that's a recipe for
Look,
success.
at the end of the day, like I've been an independent person. I mean, I moved to Los Angeles. I was 18 by myself. It was me and my dog, the dog that he actually bought for me. So it's. I always consider it our dog. We lost him about a month and a half ago. It was very hard for us. But talking about our engagement, he actually, so it was in 2020 because our anniversary is May 15th and he always wanted to keep it on a May 15th. So he proposed May 15 of last year. Yes.
Okay.
And it was so nice at our home, and we had our dog there, and it was so sweet.
I'm just thinking like now every single day, like I bet May 14th for you are super anxious.
Oh no, we all knew.
May 15th, something's gonna happen now.
Yeah, like every May 15.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We
That's what
all
I'm
knew
thinking.
though that he was gonna propose.
Really?
Yeah, last year. We were like
Well,
waiting.
he asked my dad. He did all the things.
Nice.
Yeah,
that-
but we were always waiting for like that May 15th.
The May 15th, yeah. And so
Which year is it gonna be?
And you guys are gonna get married.
When are you guys gonna get married?
When? Yeah. I was,
May 15th, hopefully of next year. It couldn't be this year because I didn't have any time with the pandemic to even look at. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And my parents were very they were the ones that were really scared of the virus. So
Right.
They were the
You gotta
ones.
Okay, that's exception because now you're gonna engage for over a year.
2
right?
years.
Yeah.
It would be 2 years.
But because of COVID, right? Realistically, it wouldn't have been.
yeah, my
mean,
parents
it's been-
never left the house. Like there was no way I could plan. I couldn't do
Right.
dresses,
Yeah.
shop. I did nothing. Like my mom was like, scared.
It's been 16 years, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
You
what,
can
one
wait
more.
another-
Yeah.
you can wait one
I
more
can
just
wait
to
one
make sure
more.
everyone's safe. Yeah.
Engaged for like 5 years. So man, it sounds like your life is all great and dandy.
listen,
Go to your life.
it's really not.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
So Mel's life is great and dandy.
Yours is all-
Mine
Yeah.
is terrible.
No,
my
no,
gosh.
I'm kidding. But how long have you been single now? I mean,
Yeah. So, I've been.
that starts.
Steph, why'd you have to make that sound so doomed?
No, because I'm really like trying to. So earlier this year, I ended like a 4-year situationship.
4 years.
4 years.
Well, but I will tell you, we started off as really great friends, and I was engaged to another man when I met him. So we didn't cross that line
So you had a
until
so you
I
were-
ended my engagement, and then that whole recovery process was like a whole year. But we were just guys.
Oh,
But
boy.
we were just friends for a long time.
It's just my friend, baby. I'm nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
No, really, literally.
The guy your
just
ex
friends.
tells you not to worry about.
That's the next thing.
Yeah.
No, oh my gosh, no, it really wasn't that like that. Like
But then, the engagement was cut. And then
right,
you said,
right, and then I was open to a friendship at that point because when I ended my engagement, I was really in a very, very low self-esteem place. It was a very toxic relationship, like emotionally and mentally, and not only from him, but also his mother. And I never understood what emotional and mental abuse was until that experience in my life, because they teach us so much about physical abuse, like what that looks like.
yeah, when they say abuse, you automatically
You
assume
automatically-
it's physical.
right.
Exactly. But emotional and mental abuse is a thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that that's what I was going through that entire time in that relationship until one day I really just looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, I don't even know who I am. It was really bad. So after that relationship, I was like, no, but I had met him prior, and we would talk periodically, but I didn't want anything to do like a relationship now. So it was like a year, I would say, I took completely off and just trying to heal myself, and really kind of come to terms with what I had experienced. And then, we were really great friends. And I always felt like, to be in a relationship with someone that you considered your best friend, could work. And
On paper, it sounds
Yeah.
great.
yeah, I mean, I think, it was also a long distance, so for me, that was really difficult. He was also younger than me. And I think that really we were on different pages. I'm already I just turned 30. I really want to get married one day. Like that's kind of my trajectory. And he was 4 years younger than me. So he was not there at all.
26.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, it was even younger.
Right. Exactly.
That's so. Friends first. You guys had that foundation,
Right.
And do you still have that friendship, or did you?
No.
That's rough.
And it's rough. I mean, I'm very open to it now. Like I was a bit upset that it didn't work out.
Yeah, you're disappointed.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the emotions are all over the place
Yeah.
right after, but
But I'm at a place now that I'm definitely open to a friendship. But I'm also trying to reserve that part of me for when I really do meet my guy. Like, because when the relationship that I envision is really a partner, but also a friend. So I feel like, I don't know, if somebody were to enter my life And then I have this guy that I had a situationship with, and he's still in my life, right? As a close friend.
Some people might, say, "Hey, listen, this is why is he in the picture?"
Exactly. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to experience that on my end. So that's kind of like where I'm at with him in specific, is I'm open to conversing again, but that bond that we had as like best friends, that we would talk every single day, like, no, I wouldn't go there again, because I'm expecting my man to appear in my life one of these days. And I don't want to, I don't want to have, I want to have that like reserved for the right person, if that makes any sense.
100%. So knowing what you know now, would you go back and would you date that best friend again? Or would you say, hey, listen, I don't want to tarnish that friendship, if you could go back in time?
Yeah, but think about who you are today. Would you be the person you are today with the beliefs that you have if it wasn't for the attempt?
Yeah, for 4 years.
Who would you be if he were still your friend and you guys never dated? It's hard to
imagine that.
It's not, you see what I mean? Yeah. So
I don't know. I think we were both really curious. So it was just like, I mean, it's so hard that you're saying, because when you know something didn't work out, you're like, hell no, I wouldn't do it again. Right.
It
doesn't work out.
But think about it, because I mean, if it was worth it, they would have probably still been together.
Exactly.
So you would probably, I think it's good that it ended, because then this reservation that you have set for the man
definitely
will be able to be the right friend that you see yourself with the rest of your life.
Exactly.
It wasn't this guy.
It wasn't.
So you know what? Screw that guy.
Yeah. Are you currently open to dating, or because you
absolutely,
you said you're waiting for that special man?
Yeah, for sure.
Dating?
I
Where are you meeting these guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're bombarding this girl.
I know. I'm sorry.
Who is he?
It's so funny. No, I'm not really dating right now. I mean, a lot of my friends. So I have a friend that's getting married very soon, and she met him. Well, other than my sister, but she met him.
She actually has friends.
That's
just me.
I love having friends. But she's getting married, and she met her guy off of dating app, and she was like, you gotta do it. And I was always super, super opposed. But at the same time, it's like, how many relationships have we, or people that we kind of start off of like Instagram?
Exactly.
Right?
At this point, it's kind of the same.
It's a dating app.
That's true.
I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, I signed up and all that, but I'm just like, I don't know.
Was it just one dating app or several?
No, just one.
What is it? eHarmony?
I mean, guys, I'm like,
that's not a dating app. That's like a dating.
Isn't that for like seniors?
Is it?
No,
I feel like it's for seniors.
Match.com is for old people.
Which can we ask? What app did you use?
So it's funny. I already had one app, which is Bumble, because they worked with Millennial Women Talk. So when she had told me, "Oh, get on the dating app," I was like, well, I already have it on my phone, so I just might as well like
look into it.
And yeah, there was one guy that I really clicked with.
And you met him online?
You met him on Bumble.
On Bumble.
Okay.
But then it was like the inconsistency. So it was like he was on there. He was planning on moving to Florida. Then that didn't happen. And then
you guys dating guys like a different state.
You guys like long distance?
Long distance.
Well,
something you guys gravitate to.
I know. Well,
challenges.
But what I'm saying is that I was like, no, I don't want to do the long distance anymore.
Yeah.
But I really I felt like, a connection with this guy. And I was like, okay, well, he's going to move to Florida. But, it was just like a lot of inconsistencies. Then he didn't end up. And then it was like that I was met with, he was like very egotistical too, which was interesting. So like, it's like, when people have like standards, like, oh, I don't invest in people that don't invest in me. And then I'm like, well, I don't invest in people that don't invest in me. So who's going to invest first?
I mean, somebody's going to have to take the initiative.
Exactly. And for me, I'm a little bit old school. Like I like not a man to chase, because men aren't dogs. Like they shouldn't chase women, but I like to be pursued, especially because I exert so much masculine energy in my business every day. In my relationship, I want to be in my feminine energy. I need a masculine man that takes the lead, and I'll match your effort every time. But you have to go first. You have to lead, and I match. So that's kind of my perspective.
Go ahead.
You be talking too much. I'm turning my
Chris is itching. He's like, I just want to get in here.
Go ahead.
Do you think that because you two are obviously very strong women, do you think that intimidates or comes off as intimidating to a lot of
I don't
men?
know. I would love to ask you that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But I mean, you have to have an idea.
Yeah, you have
right?
to. Yeah, based on experience, because I mean, you do want to be pursued. You do acknowledge that you are a very strong woman, and you'll match the energy. But you do want to be in your feminine. However, it seems like you haven't been able to as much as you'd want to. So do you think that based on your experience that it's just that men are just like, oh, she's too much, I can't handle?
I mean,
or maybe men just would rather a woman who they can, I don't want to say boss around, but that they can kind of always lead, or I don't know, control's a bad word.
I like partnership. No, I think it's like, I like strength. I love strength. I'm very into personal self-development, so I love strong qualities. And I also love vulnerable qualities as well. I'm an extremely balanced person. I can dress like this, and then tomorrow I'm going to go and ride a horse and get dirty. Like, that's who I am. I'm like super balanced. I'm complex as well. And I just want somebody to be like that. But to answer your questions, because this is what I've been personally dealing with, because I'm so involved in my career of personal self-development, I've grown immensely in the past, I would say years, but especially, you know,
last year,
after turning 30, I don't know what happened. A lot of things clicked for me. And so I will be very honest. When I'm having conversations with a lot of guys and they're not in that same frequency or in that same ambition to grow spiritually, emotionally, mentally, I can become a little bit bored. And that's just the truth, because because I'm discovering all these amazing things about life and how it's so much bigger than we thought it was, and I'm growing and I'm ambitious and I'm going after, and you know, if the conversation isn't like at least a little bit advanced, a lot of intellectually like stimulating, I tend to be like, oh, you know.
It sounds like you want to be challenged, right? That you want to be with somebody who can teach you, who can.
We can both teach each other.
Which we were saying partnership. I feel like you know, in your
but
business,
you see that in yourself already, which is what you're literally just saying right now. Like you want to be able to challenge someone. I mean, you want that, but you need to be challenged, because that's what you're seeking.
In a loving way. Because I don't like also, because what happens here is when guys get not intimidated, I don't know if that's the right word, but when they sense that I need to be challenged, they go at it a little bit mean, and that doesn't work for me either.
How so?
Like, they can become a little bit egotistical, like trying to challenge me, because I've already experienced this too, that like, they're like, oh, this is how I have to approach her, right? So she wants to be challenged, exactly, which is funny why you guys are literally using that word.
So maybe you want it's not even organic when they approach you, because they feel like, okay, I have to be this person.
It's supportive. It's supportive. I want to find somebody that's ambitious like me, but that we can support each other throughout that journey. And yeah, like I definitely have that ambitious side to me, and I see like all the things that I'm working towards. And I don't know, maybe it could be intimidating. I don't know. A lot of people also tell me like, I don't think your man is in Miami. And I'm like,
that's why it's long distance. You're good.
But then I'm like, oh my God.
You did long distance, you're fine.
No, but I also have a bird for a soul, honestly. Like, I'm not committed to like, I'm going to stay in Miami forever. Right. I'm just kind of like where the wind takes me. So
it sounds like you're very like independent. You're strong. You have a strong personnel, and your professional career, and you have that masculine energy. Maybe that's you feel like that's something that other guys they will notice, and it kind of puts them aback where they feel like, hey man, maybe I can't. Do you feel like you're approachable? Right?
Before you answer, I
think so.
I want you to answer it for her. What do you think about that? Do you think what he just said, that, you know, the masculine energy, that it could be that it's scaring, right? That you said?
I
want you to see. Yeah, I would like to get your opinion.
Well, that depends if they're meeting me when we're doing business, but on my day to day, I'm like in super feminine energy.
In Steph and who she is at her core of who she is, no, I don't think so at all. I think she's completely approachable. I just think that, you know, especially when you're in your 30s, right? You have a different mentality. Right. And if the guy has not gotten to that place, because trust me, you've met these men where they are not advanced. They're still in their, it feels like they're in high school.
They're not advanced.
I do agree.
No, seriously, they, like their mentality is like high school mentality. It's petty stuff. They, you know, the things they talk about is stupid. Like they don't talk about, I don't know, like life things or like, you know,
I think
ideas.
The real life, that's like when you actually bring reality of what life actually is, because you're discovering that there really is so much life. And I'm kind of on the same boat where it's like we're more than just you know this, you know,
right?
You know, being able to find someone that to have that same mentality and want to learn more, want to seek more, want to discover more, like that journey. It's fun to be able to find someone who's going to match that, because not everyone's going to, you know, pretty much see what you see in that way. So it's very difficult.
Right.
Well, thanks for the encouraging
and the
words.
traveling. Like Steph has traveled really more than I have, but she's traveled globally, lived in Abu Dhabi for a certain amount of time. So when you travel and you leave your four walls of where you grew up, your mind expands in a way where you're just like, you're curious and you have all these different thoughts and perspectives. And if a guy and I'm not saying that if he doesn't travel, he's not going to have this, but you got to be curious about what's outside of what you know from your childhood.
Yes. People are just too comfortable.
Exactly.
They don't want to seek outside because I've never dabbled in that. So I don't even want to find out because this is all I know. Why? Exactly. It's like if it's not broken, don't fix it. But you can always perfect it. You can always make it better. Although we can say that perfection may not even be a real thing.
It's not,
you know? But you can always make something better. That's why when the car was first made, it was on like wooden wheels. Now we have electric cars, There's always advancements that can happen.
That's such a great example. I'm glad that you said that because it's true. The car was working fine. Like, why are we changing what, but it's not changing, it's evolving.
Right.
And human beings, you have to evolve. You have to grow. Because then how are you going to teach your children? It's going to be so outdated, your ideas, and they're living in a new world. So you have to think of that as well. And I know that that's what she's trying to like say, because she is approachable. Like in business, she is who she is, right? But I mean, her future husband's not going to be in the business meeting, so it doesn't matter. It's like, it's who she is.
But even like, I think, I mean, men want a strong woman too.
But do you feel 100%, but do you feel like, you mentioned masculine energy. Do you feel like in order for there to be a healthy relationship with your partner, you have to be able to submit to your partner and have that so you can be in your feminine energy, right? You feel like that's something that's
but she can be. No, she likes to be.
Right.
I love
but now you got to find a man who's willing to handle the masculine and then be able to
like coexist,
respond to the feminine.
No, it's a balance.
To lead her,
it's absolutely a balance. I think like it's like a little bit old school. Like Jose is very traditional in that sense. Like he plays the masculine role, and that's not to say that you submitted to him or that you can't lead either. But it's just that's kind of the dynamic, the yin and the yang that I've kind of seen, and ultimately that's what works. There can be two at the same time. It always has to be that yin and the yang, and it could be fluid in the sense that there may be moments where the woman has to take the lead, right? Like in our family, our mom, our dad was the leader, but there were so many moments that my mom had to step up, and she did, and I'm able to do the same thing. It's just it's all about balance ultimately in relationships.
100%. The reason why I've asked, we've had people on the show and they mention the same thing. One is to lead, the other has to submit. Doesn't always have to be one partner doing the same thing, right? It could be. As long as you coexist and you can switch, it's almost like it has to mesh. You have to blend together. Absolutely. That's why that was part of the reason why I've asked you. If that's something that you've experienced, it sounds like you are in that position, right, where you can be on both aspects, right? And which that's I feel like that is healthy, right?
100%.
Literally, the word in my head was it would be unhealthy. Well, the phrase was I feel like it would be unhealthy if one was always the masculine, the other one was always in the feminine, whether it be the man or the woman. Because think about it, like if the man was always the one leading, the man was always the one making decisions, the man was always the one having that energy. The woman it'll come to a point where maybe the woman will feel like, well, I want to say things. I want to make some decisions. I want to do something. But I feel like,
do you feel
that's
like,
where I agree.
Yeah. Do you feel like it could also be like a turnoff for some women where it's like, okay, like I don't want my man to be in his feminine energy, right? Is that something that you've encountered?
She's thinking about it though.
I guess balance is key, right?
Balance is key.
Balance is key.
I think ultimately it's a partnership, and it's all about strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. See, if my guy cannot, pick the best restaurants in town, right? And he's going to be like, okay, you pick tonight, which is, it's, I guess, not taking the lead, right? And then the woman is like, well, she's all about Google and she can find all the best restaurants, and she takes the lead in like booking the table and okay, you know what I mean? That's
it doesn't matter.
I like that. I used to, date somebody, and when we go to restaurants, she didn't really know much about wine. I'm not a wine connoisseur, but I knew more. So she would like, you pick. And it became to the point where I would always pick the wine, right? And it could be vice versa. So one person, if that's your strength, right? You take the initiative. Hey, we're going to have 2 glasses or a bottle of this. because my partner's gonna take the initiative, or I'll take the initiative and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and make the decision for us,
Right.
because the other person might not be better.
Yeah, we
But
talk
it's a back and
about
forth.
like 50-50 in relationships. Like, what does it really mean?
Yeah.
We had a relationship coach who we said it should always be 100-0. Like, you always give your 100,
Right.
expect 0 in return, and you would want that partner to also give their 100. The way that we kind of, I think, identified it now is, your 50 isn't my 50, or your 100 won't be my 100.
Right.
But as long as it fits within my empty bucket of willing to reach to 100,
Right.
that's what works for me. So for you, maybe you always pick the wine because she didn't know. That for her was you meeting 100% of her needs.
100%.
That was missing for that in that kind of department
Situation, right.
And then let's say maybe about maybe traveling also. Same thing. Maybe she didn't travel, but then she could have taught you about cooking.
Exactly.
So maybe what you lack in cooking, that's your 100% being met in that department.
Exactly. And you come together with somebody, and that's when you really like learn about each other. And again, what you were saying earlier, you challenge each other, you learn from each other. Maybe I can teach her a little bit of wine, she can teach me about cooking, and then that's how you grow, and that's what makes a
how you
partnership
grow.
special.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way of doing relationships.
I think whatever works.
It's like whatever works.
I think we've all the four of us, we've talked to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and we've been in this position. We started recently, not too long ago, but we've been doing it long enough to see that there's no one fits all, right?
Right.
And what I've learned over these months and over the years, like, no, everybody's different, right? And so what works for you might not work for her, and then vice versa.
Which is what we had said on when you guys had us on, pretty much saying, the importance of meeting a lot of people, which I know you didn't really have to, but I find it important where you can meet a lot of people because there
I don't
are.
know how I feel about this.
Well, can I say
Christian.
something about that though?
I have to, yeah, and I'm gonna have an argument.
Okay.
I think I know what you're gonna say,
Okay.
but I'm gonna counter. I'm ready.
I'm gonna counter. Are you a lawyer?
Bam, bam.
No, you are.
Can't tell what the suit on.
Counter.
I
Exactly.
can't tell with the suit. I don't know how about I feel, and I do want to talk to you guys about that because I am like, that situationship ended earlier this year, and I definitely am, very open to dating and stuff now. But I don't know how I feel about that dating multiple people at the same time.
Well, yeah, there's
Okay.
a fine line.
I'm not saying like dating as in you can
Like
say
exclusive, you mean?
right. You're not gonna be exclusive with 3 people, but you're dating to the sense. Well, okay, I'm gonna go on 3 dates this week, right? 3 different guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a date. The date could be coffee break. The date could be you guys meeting up for
Something
coffee.
super innocent, yeah.
It could be something, going for a walk, even though we had an episode of someone saying that it's not. But whatever it is that's simple enough to really get to know the person and evaluate, do they earn a second date with me? Are they worth a second date? Now that's where you make the decision, because you can have 3 dates, maybe in 3 different weeks, and then they're all duds. Are you going to not commit to one of these 3 duds because you chose to not continue dating other people?
But doesn't that confuse you?
Now,
Because
the
you
chamber
have other
told you I have it
options.
ready for you.
Right?
So now there's a difference between being able to date not multiple people, but being able to date around so you can meet people, but then also having way too many options.
Right.
Because if you have too many options, now you'll never find anything what you like, because, this guy had this good, this one did this, so this one I don't like at all. Great, but then this guy did this.
Right.
Obviously, you want to start narrowing your search, but then that's where you have to make the decision of saying, who is a better fit for me? Because maybe he's better at this, but does that have any influence in my life? Is that going to help me? Are they challenging me enough? That's where then you have to start narrowing it down. You start putting filters, right? The
And
check
when you
marks.
and when you're talking about like meeting different people, it's all through these apps.
However,
It could be, it could be through a
It could
friend,
be-
it could be
I
at
feel
the
like I'm
bar.
a dating 101 guy.
No, but the point is you have to put yourself in a position to meet people, because
Yeah.
you can't just, like, the people who just wait for things to happen to them.
I feel like I'm talking to my dad. He's always like, "You're always looking for love in the wrong places. You have to travel. You have to go to Nashville." He has it with Nashville.
Oh my God.
Well, you
But
never
he's like-
know.
he's
Have you been
like-
to Nashville?
Yes, and we love it.
I
love it. Oh my God, I love it.
But do you love it?
I do.
She
Oh yeah, I
does.
love
The
Guys,
She
Nashville.
does.
maybe your Prince Charming is dead.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm gonna go and book a weekend in Nashville.
Yeah, but I'm
soon.
going with you because I love Nashville.
You can
I just
go with
won't-
me. I have to have my single woman adventure.
Solo trip.
No, she can wingman it, just kind
Yeah.
of show up and then flash
I
that
can help.
Oh
rock.
yeah,
That's
that's
be
the
like,
thing.
This is
It
what we
has to be
expect
like,
here.
she's
Be like, it's
taken.
not me, it's her.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
so funny.
But I do think that.
So where else? Wait, where else? Like
But wait, hold
bars?
on.
'Cause
So
I
you're
don't-
the
I
one
don't
that's
even
dating
drink.
somebody.
I'm dating, yeah.
How did you meet?
So interesting. We met last year on Instagram, right? It was
Okay,
through-
okay. You
Yeah,
see?
yeah. It
Yeah.
was
I
on
gotta get
Instagram.
ideas.
It was Instagram. Yeah, 100%. No, I think she followed me. I followed her. you know, you do this thing, you like a picture, she likes a picture back,
Right.
you like two,
And then you do the DMs.
and then you slide in the DMs. And it's interesting because at first she was single for like years, and so I was single for over a year at that point, and it was just very casual, like, hey, there's no expectations. We first date, you had some
But
wine.
did you say that?
Yeah, 100%.
So you said no expectation verbally. You said no expectation.
I would say, God, listen, like she knew my past. I was explaining it. I was like, listen, I'm not really right now. I'm just trying to get to know you. No expectation. That's how I go into. The first thing, it's not even a date. It's like just two
So you
people
were
coming
upfront
together.
about it.
I was upfront. I was transparent.
But then
And-
isn't that like a turnoff? Because then it's like, oh, maybe he doesn't like me. Because
no, it's not even that. If you're gonna, I can't control how you're gonna take what I'm saying, right?
Well, that's true.
So
You also don't want to pretend to be somebody else in order to
Exactly.
impress them to
Exactly.
try to. Like, you want to be you.
This is who I am.
But verbally saying it. That's why I'm thinking. I'm like, as a girl, right? Would you, if he said, "Hey, we're just like hanging out, no expectations," wouldn't you feel like, "Oh, maybe he doesn't like me"?
If that's how you see it.
I would absolutely just like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, or oh my gosh, like I wouldn't like sleep with you or like really invest so much. Like I would match your energy.
100%,
like if
100%.
if whatever you're saying, that's how much I'm gonna put in.
But there was no expectation like, oh, we have to sleep together, we have to do this. No, like we're
Right.
just two people getting to know each other, and hopefully, like what you were saying, is this worthy of another date? And it was a second date.
If the
and
second
Right.
date comes,
there's
then maybe
another third, and then a third date, and then so forth. And at first,
Okay.
we weren't exclusive, but I was making it. No, it took we met her in June. We really didn't establish exclusivity until like October, November. And I was dating. I would go on dates and stuff like that. And
You were.
yeah, but I was honest about it. I was like, oh, we're not exclusive. Like, like you could see other people. Again, and that's
I
where
don't know how I feel
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
this.
I don't-
I
yeah.
feel weird about it.
I mean, I was.
I mean, I don't have to worry about it
No,
now, but
I
I'm
was
just
being-
saying,
I
like,
you know what I think the
Like,
issue
for me.
is?
I'm worried about you. I'm like, hold
Okay,
on.
so wait, is that something that I should expect? Like whoever I meet, they're gonna be.
For me, it was
a bunch of-
if we
Yes.
don't establish exclusivity, we're not exclusive.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm not gonna assume that you're the only person that I'm the only person you're seeing, and vice versa.
You're
now,
me-
once I
Right.
say, hey, listen, like, like I like the direction that we're going. I really like you. I want to invest more into you, but I want to be exclusive. Can we establish that? Absolutely, no problem. I feel the same way. Great. Now we're on the same page.
So you
but
did
assuming,
verbally say that
of
to her?
course, yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
of course. Because I feel like there's a lot of these assumptions. Oh, we've been going on 3-4 dates. We've been seeing each other for a couple of months. We have to be exclusive.
Yeah, there's like a
Right.
timeline. Like, okay, well,
Right.
third date means this, fourth date means
Yeah.
this. When it's
Right.
like you want to go in there on the first date to meet someone, see if they're worth actually dating. So if you go into with the mentality of getting to know somebody, because one, you're going to learn about yourself with how they act. You're going to learn about how they act to what you say, because maybe you think that you've been saying something the whole time. No one's really addressed anything to you. Maybe this person that you're meeting will give you something where you're like, man, every single time I say this one thing, it seems that, no one wants to talk to him anymore. So now you're just there to learn. You're there to meet a lot of people. It's like a trial with everyone for yourself. So then you continue meeting these people until maybe they earn the second date. Okay, where can this go? This guy, I went on 3 different dates, but this guy, now I want a second date. Doesn't mean you stop dating other people, because you got to go out and see what's out there. But don't think as dating as, oh, we're going to date, then we're going to hook up, or maybe then we're
like
going to.
with that one person, like the
Exactly. You're there to meet and learn about yourself, learn about other people. And then from there, you determine if, okay, is this worth my time for a second date?
Right.
And what I love, there was no pressure. Like a lot of people, like, oh, we've been dating for 3-4 months now. Let's make it official. My partner, the person I'm dating now, she's amazing, but she never put pressure on me. Like I asked her to be my girlfriend. I'm a little bit traditional like that. Like last month in May. May 7th, I think.
That's
it was.
so cute.
And
See?
but like there was no
Keep
pressure.
those things, guys.
There was
Guys
no-
that are
but-
listening to the show.
But what I
it's
like,
sweet.
But what I liked was there was no pressure. Like, oh, you want to, like, when are you gonna ask me out? Or there was
Right.
none of that, and it just came organically.
Yeah.
And she didn't pressure me. She didn't rush me, and but we always on the same page, right? So since day one, that's what I admired about her. She was single for a long time, so I knew she didn't, jump from one situationship to the next or
Right.
one relationship to the other.
Yeah.
It was great. So fast forward almost a year since I met her, it's been a great time. So the thing is, you want, and we've had Dr. Hasty on, and he was like, when people go on dates, they ask questions. What's your favorite color? Who
Right.
cares? What's your favorite
Yeah.
color?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What
Absolutely.
makes you happy? What makes you sad? Why does this make you sad?
Yeah.
Show me the ugly. Show me the stuff that you don't want anybody else to know.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I want to know the core of who you are.
That's where I'm at. And I'm also at a place that I'm very open to telling you that about me too. Cause I'm in a place that I know myself, right? And I'm in a personal self-development journey. And those are the questions that I ask. Like, what makes you sad? What's the hardest thing you've been through? And I'm willing to share, right, as well, my own stuff. And but it's interesting how many people just don't want to be vulnerable.
Let me ask you, Chris and I go back and forth about that subject a little bit. When you go on a date and stuff like that, somebody tells you, hey, I want to get married, but I'm not 100% sure, maybe not right now. Are there certain non-negotiables where they tell you, I want kids maybe?
Well, the situationship was very much like that. And I was always, it's because he's young. But then I turned 30 and I was like, oh no, even if you're young, I got to get, no, because I really do want that. And he was always like, I don't want kids or no, but it didn't bother me 2 years ago because I was, I wasn't in this place at all.
Right.
But the minute that I don't know, I'm telling you, something clicked when I turned 30. All of a sudden,
and I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah, all of a sudden, because I didn't care when he was saying it before. I was like, because he's in his 20s, he's going to want babies. Like, he's going to be a great dad. I'm also a person that can see the best in people. Yeah, this is really bad for me. You have to take people for who they are at the moment, not fall in love with potential. But that's the leader in me. That's the coach in me. Right. I can... And I'm an asset, like use me, like I can see you and whatever it is that you want to accomplish, like I could help you do that. Like I see potential but I'm changing that within myself now. Right. Cause I was really disappointed in that situationship, and there was moments that I wish, but
I would have great quality you have. So I wouldn't say to get rid of that because the right man will appreciate that because it's such a great quality that you have.
This is why she's my older
But you won't find the right man if you just stick to one bum that you decide to date, thinking that his potential is what you're going to stick around for.
Because she really is a leader at heart. Like that's who she is.
I just am good at bringing out the best in people.
Right. But is potential worth the investment, right? Am I going to stick with this person?
Well, it wasn't in the past.
You're not going to get a return on the investment when it's just potential.
Right.
So right now, if that would be a deal breaker, if you go on a date or two,
now it would be. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
2 years ago, it wouldn't. But now, if he tells me, I don't think I want to get married, next.
Well, maybe, right? That's another.
Yeah, because
or I don't want babies.
Right, but one of the first things you said earlier was that, you're in a position where you do want to get married someday. And,
definitely.
You see, so, but that's now like a core requirement that she has,
right.
2 years to vet the partner.
It wasn't like that.
I wasn't like that. But now...
But
absolutely,
you're 30, right? But do you feel like there's some internal or external pressure, maybe from your sister, or your parents, where it's like, I'm 30, that clock is ticking?
Or societal.
No, not at all. It's really just like a feeling inside of me. Okay. Yeah. To whereas like
none of us go by that, by the way. Her and I, we don't go at all by.
I'm very like
parent
don't
society.
Fence me in.
Yeah, no, we don't
like limitations.
No, because but you can't be blind to Right. People do feel that way. There's a lot of women that think.
Or when you go to the OBGYN as a woman, it's like,
every year she keeps asking. And I'm like, how long more can I wait? They ask you, because they're like, you're getting close, this and that. And I'm like,
Well, there is an internal clock ticking. I mean, that's just a fact, right? As a woman, at some point, the risk goes up, trying to have kids, so it's not something to ignore as well.
But I also think that we're in a very different time now where, dude, my mom had my brother at 15.
Yeah.
15, 16 years old in Cuba.
I can't even fathom that.
Yeah, and then let's look at a couple years after that where, at 20-something, you had a home, a family, and, everything. Now it's impossible, to really find the right person, so quickly. And maybe back then people were just being together because they were told to be together because I've known them since elementary school and we grew up together. Might as well just marry this person and have a family with them. But now, people, they're, I think, taking into consideration their own mental health, their own wants and desires. Instead of forcing to be with someone, they actually finding someone that they want to be with. And then trying to build a family with that. It's just hard to find someone who's going to have the values you're looking for or have the same beliefs that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And in general, I'm not just saying just you, but in general.
Yeah. In general, yeah,
you to find someone that meshes with you, which is why you got to date a lot. Because when you actually meet a lot of people, you don't want to mesh with everyone. I think I said it when I was with you guys. If you can just be with anybody that you wanted to, right? There would be nothing special about that one person when you find them. Because if he doesn't work, you know that the next person will work. But finding that one person is going to be so much more impactful when you do find them, because then you'll be like, "Wow, I had to go through all these stupid bums, but with you, I felt something completely different."
Though, like
then it's just going to feel that much better when you find them.
Exactly.
like, oh,
But I also think
feel like Charlotte in Sex and the City. She's like, where is he? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
Well, I also think you're in a season of openness too. I think you have to open yourself up to receive, right? Because
Definitely.
when you're closed off and you want it, or let's just say you're like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? You're going to be blind to open up to, he might be there and you just missed him because you're focusing, you know?
But you also want to, being single is not like a punishment, right? You have to
absolutely
understand
not.
that it's like embracing it. I think
Yeah.
it's something amazing about being single.
It's a beautiful time.
It's a great
Yeah.
journey, right? Especially when you have a lot of things, you know, great family, friends, values. It's an amazing journey. When that person does enter your life, you cherish it. But until then, you know, do what you love doing. You know, do what you been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one thing I wanted to talk about. I know we have to wrap things up.
Running.
I wanted to talk because we're in a unique position.
We could be here for 2 hours.
Well, yeah,
Are we here for 2 hours?
We really could be.
We've almost been.
We're in a unique position to have you on the show because you've been in a relationship for so many years. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk briefly, really quick about how do you guys, you and your husband, what's his name?
Jose.
How do you guys tackle finances, right? Because we on the show, we talk relationships, a lot of relationships, and because of
It's
finances,
the number
right?
one reason
Right.
why people get divorced.
Right, divorce.
Exactly.
So
Interesting.
just briefly, I wanted to hear your take on how you guys deal with that, right?
So when we struggled, you mean, or how?
How at this particular moment, how do you guys, do you feel like it's 50-50? Do you see yourself
I
because
see. If we-
financially, like how do you
So-
guys come together? You know,
It's
'cause,
interesting.
I had one of my old coworkers. He told me that they would make their bank account and they'd have a savings, and then they'd have their own personal accounts.
Right.
So pretty much all the bills would get paid out of that main account. Whatever's left over goes to their savings, but they still had their own money to splurge.
No. So we have everything together.
everything.
And since we were 21.
Wow.
So it's so
crazy.
funny. I had, when I moved to LA by myself, it was really tough for me the first 3 years. I couldn't book. It was terrible. I got in a really bad depression and I started shopping. And I got a lot of credit cards in our car. Be like, I just bought all. She's laughing because it
I'm
was
laughing because
insane.
of one instant. And
Because I bought this. It was so stupid.
No, she was really struggling financially, and I called her, and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" She's like, I just bought the most beautiful necklace at Chanel."
Oh my God.
I went back and I returned. It was a pro necklace
"What
from
are you
Chanel. It was so
doing?"
stupid. So I guess that's what depression did to me. No, but it was other things too that I went through. But when I moved back home after those first 3 years, because I took a brief pause from acting to regroup myself and to get better emotionally and mentally, I had a lot of credit card debt. And when he asked me to do that, I was terrified because I was like, he's gonna know like my money, like what happened.
Yeah.
And he actually helped me pay it
That's
off.
great. Did you tell before you did you tell him, hey, listen, by the way, you have a lot of credit card debt?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if we want to do that because and I explained to him, but he's always been the beauty of our relationship that I feel extremely grateful for is the support of each other. No matter who's down, it's like, it's okay. I'm here to pick you up and I'm here to pick you up. Like it was always that support, right? So he helped me with that. And we've been in the same bank account since we were 21 and we still are till this day. And we have a savings, but it's together. But I manage everything from the house. So I do all the bills. He doesn't know anything.
Really?
I think most men are like that. You didn't see that video that went viral? That's like,
I don't know what she's doing.
yeah, I make the money. She's the one that runs everything.
I
I don't
run
know
everything.
how anything happens.
But both of you guys make the money.
Yeah.
Right? Both of you guys.
And I manage
you're
it.
the manager.
And I was terrible at math. I don't know how the hell I have been able to keep us afloat
No,
because I'm
without-
like, I'm,
no, with the credit card debt.
No,
You
no.
sure we want to keep her?
Let me open up another one. You pay that off, baby. I got another one. I love that.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to ask because you guys been together for such a long time. So I want to
Yeah.
say, how do you guys handle that? How do you guys
everything
handle
is
that?
together. So it's like, I think I mentioned this when you guys were on our show. We have always seen each other as a team. And I have
that.
always seen that even when you get married, you don't become one, you become a team because I am me and you are you. And we're not one because we're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're two people coming together to take on life together.
Yeah.
And if you can see it like that, then you won't be against each other. And you will always see that you're always trying to benefit the relationship, which is the union.
Yeah.
That is what we're trying to do.
And
I love
maintaining the
that.
individuality.
Right, because he's
People
him
need
and
to
I'm
be
me.
themselves. Yeah.
When we first started dating, we were like 17, 18. We were going to a friend's house, and I had this Abercrombie & Fitch jean skirt that was super short. I don't know why I would wear that, but it was very short. And I remember he went to pick me up, and when I came out, he was like, "You're going to wear that?" And I was like, "Yes." And I felt like he was going to say to change, and I was like, "I'm not changing, so we're leaving." And I think it's important for women to express.
You guys left?
And we left. I didn't change. And he never, ever asked me or looked or anything again about what I was wearing.
Yeah, you took your
Because-
stance.
But
Well,
you continue with what
Yeah.
you were saying.
No, because I think it's important for women and for men to, you're always going to try. You're always going to try to cross that little line and do it. But the second that you allow it, it's over.
Exactly.
You have to
took a stand.
know.
Oh, I got a
You have to-
story. My boss actually,
The camera is still.
she told me a story of when her husband, they were like just recently married.
Okay.
But they were, I think, in the kitchen, and she was with her mom, and he raised his voice and said something, and she looks at him. The mom looks at her daughter, which is, and he goes, "You gonna let him talk to you like that?"
Oh.
She goes, "If you let it happen now,
Yeah.
it's always gonna happen."
Always.
Yeah.
She grabbed him sardine from the counter and threw it against his ass. She goes, "Never again talk to me like
Yeah.
that." Still together today after like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grabbed the thing and threw it at him.
Yeah,
People
100%.
are
And
always
he's like-
so afraid
Yeah.
of setting boundaries because
Yeah.
they're afraid of losing that person. But
You
a
have to.
person that crosses your boundaries and it's like you don't want to be with that
No,
person
100%.
because you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
So setting boundaries is so important.
But I also
Super
think to
vital.
what we had said earlier when it came to that masculine feminine energy,
Yeah.
maybe some people, they're just so used to always having their boundaries crossed that they allow it to happen.
They don't even know what a boundary is.
Yeah, or maybe they don't even know. So, or maybe the man has always crossed boundaries because in his previous relationship,
Right.
his partner was always saying like, well, no, you do what you got to do, whatever.
I
So
think
then,
the beauty of us too, Stephanie and I, is that we're very aware people. We saw relationships within the larger scale of our family, meaning aunts, uncles, people like that, of things we didn't like. And so we kind of took mental note of things that we didn't like and things that we did like. So when it came time for my relationship, I already knew kind of what I wanted. Because we're very aware. Like Steph and I, we know, we're like, ooh, no, that, no, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
it and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's important for you to also know from experience of others around you, what is it that you like and what you don't.
Yeah,
So
you-
when you're in the relationship,
I also think it comes with being open because maybe
Yeah.
your fiance, he's gone through things where his upbringing taught him certain things that maybe
Yeah.
you weren't used to.
Yeah.
But because now he's sharing it with you, you're like, as long as you play, devil's advocate, kind of,
Yeah.
why there's a reason why this is occurring.
Yeah.
I have this belief that he's opposed to me, but why?
right.
If we're open to it, to listen, to understand, because maybe there's something deeper than them just going against you.
Absolutely.
Being able to be open to learn on their end, I think that's where we
yeah.
develop. We continue growing as people.
Absolutely.
And then we find other opportunities to just, continue bettering together.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about the foundation. It's like what I mentioned earlier. It has to be the same values and foundations. And him and I grew up differently, from an economical standpoint, but our values were the same.
Yeah.
Man, I love that for the two of you.
You
Sounds
know.
like an amazing guy.
Thank
I gotta
you.
meet this guy.
Yeah, you gotta meet him. He's
bring
fun.
him.
yeah.
Actually, that would be interesting.
Oh, that would be so funny. We have to do a part 2.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll circle back with you guys
sure.
in the next couple of months. Yeah, maybe. Well, probably by when you're married.
Oh, that'd
Bring
be
you
nice.
on, and then maybe by then you'll be married too.
That would be
That would be
nice.
dope. That would be
Right?
dope.
And maybe you'll be married too.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll be married. We're not married.
I feel like Chris is gonna be that quick turnaround. I don't think you're gonna be the.
You know what's funny? Years ago, when my friend, the one that passed away, Jose, I was in a group with 3 of my friends, and they were like, we're all looking around, we're all single. And then he goes to me and he goes, I think Vieira's going to be the first one. Chris is going to be the first one to get. And I'm like, me, why? I was the last one. So you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. If I did it then, I'll do it again now.
And we'll see you next year.
Anything else, guys?
amazing.
You guys want to cover anything before? Because we do
Any
got to start
questions?
wrapping it up.
No, that was great.
Do you have anything?
Let's
in mind?
see
You
what we'll
thinking about
be.
something?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No? Alrighty. With that being said, we got to take pictures. Do not take your headphones off. Now we're going to wrap it up. All right?
Yes.
Ladies, it was such a pleasure. Man.
Thank
I love y'all.
Yeah.
You guys
I
are
love you
awesome.
guys too.
You guys rock. We could do this for another 2 hours.
I
Producer
know.
in training, what do you think about them? Right?
Fabulous. Well, that being said,
With that being said, ladies, thank you so much. It's time to break up.
Thanks,
Aw.
guys.
I'm
Oh.
sad.
It's not you, it's me.
All good things come to an end. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please. Oh, we got to give them their shout out.
Yeah. We
Guys,
do this thing at the end.
Please forgive me before we break up. We need closure, right? So I need you guys to you can look at the camera, you can look at us. Pretty much, it's we'd like to end it with the final thoughts. With that, it could be anything that you want to tell your younger self, anything that you've gone through, whatever it may be. Same thing, and then we'll let you guys market yourself. Pretty much where we can find you, what you guys do, XYZ website, all that stuff. Yeah. Floor is yours. Take it or leave it.
Oh my gosh, go for
Go,
what
sis.
do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Both of you guys. Both of you.
You're the naturals. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're the singer. You're the one that's look in front of the camera. That's why you got sent there.
So what is it? Like final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Something that you want to
maybe something you live by. Maybe something that you'd want someone to.
Listen, I would say this.
There you go.
The best piece of advice that I can give, at least. You know what? Women and men, don't fall in love with the illusion.
Yeah.
Relationships are not Instagram.
Absolutely.
Work hard at it. If it's meant to be in the sense that you both want to be in a relationship, work really tirelessly on it and do not give up because you don't love the favorite movies or shows or you don't go to the gym. It's just so stupid.
Yes. Like, I think it's like valuing commitment, and also valuing yourself, falling in love with yourself first. And, I think you're making such a great point. And I think that that's what it's about. It's like not the illusion. It's about really finding somebody wholeheartedly, authentically raw, and then choosing to commit to growing and going through life together. And that's what I hope to find for myself.
Nice.
You will.
Fabulous. Any fellas who are single?
Yeah.
I know. Anybody?
And you guys.
We'll send them your way.
Can we do a newsletter for Steph on your
my
website?
God.
Be like, let's find a bachelor for Steph.
I'm open to it.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Chris sets up,
And you can bring them onto the show and you guys can interview them.
What is it?
So
The blind
blind
date
dates?
that we had said. Remember?
That'd be
we
fun.
create a blind date thing.
That'll be dope.
All right, so now before market yourselves really quick, all right, your Instagram, your website, talk about what it is that you guys do, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You can do our intro, Mel. Go ahead. So
What do you mean
I'm
the intro?
Melissa.
Oh, why are we going to do our podcast intro?
Do it.
Do
I
it.
wanna
We
see it.
always do it.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
But it's MWs now. Listen, you can find us at wearemillennialwomen.com. And if you want to
Yes.
join our course, it's heypodcaster.com.
Yes. And you can also
fun.
find our personal pages at Stephanie Kirkache and
At Melly Kirkachi on Instagram.
amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
All right, so now we can officially break up. Sorry. But yes,
you gave
once
us
again,
hope.
I know. I led you on. Yeah, guys, thank you. It was honestly so much fun. We had a blast.
It was amazing.
Thanks,
It was
guys.
fabulous.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much for coming.
So yeah, we'll
Thanks.
wrap it up. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, before we close off, remember, like this video down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring the notification bell.
Smash that button.
Smash that like button. But yes, if you're on the go, Spotify, iTunes. Spotify, iTunes. We got our website, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Yeah.
With that being said,
Thank you so much, guys. Ciao.